Welcome in, Chipola Nation. I'm Donnie Tyndall, head men's basketball coach here at Chipola College. We've got a very special guest with us today. Coach Mitch Rolls is our new women's basketball coach. Coach, welcome to Chipola. We're glad to have you.
Thank you, Coach.
I know you're excited. It's been a whirlwind for you, right?
Absolutely.
Why don't you walk our fans through a little bit of maybe from the interview process with Coach Johnson, moving here, getting acclimated, putting your team together. I know you've been working hard all summer long, and let our fans kind of hear about your story, if you will.
Well, I think a whirlwind is probably the best description. Getting that call from Coach Johnson, being excited about the opportunity to, going through the negotiations and getting it done, that was probably the most exciting part.
Yeah.
Then comes the hard part, getting your family picked up, getting everybody moved down here, talking to recruits that had signed to our previous school and, trying to get them shifted over. So that was a lot of work. But once we got all that done, we got here and we're welcomed with open arms by, obviously you, Coach Johnson, Dr. Clemens, John Rushing, and everybody. So, it's been great. Enjoying the community, small town, that's kind of what we're used to. So
yeah.
We're loving it.
Well, good. And I know you've got a beautiful family. Tell us a little. You got a couple kids, a beautiful wife. Tell us about your family, if you will.
Yeah, so Mitchell Jr., he's 4 years old. He's the wild one. He's the ringleader. He's right now at home running around, doing crazy stuff. And then Maxon, our 2-year-old. So,
okay.
Those two kind of run the roost and run the house, and we just kind of follow suit.
Yeah, and it's important to have a great coach's wife, isn't it? That's willing to pick up and move and kind of hold that family together. And I'm sure she'll be at all the games cheering loud, right?
Yep, they're indestructible. If they can handle coaching, they can handle anything.
That's right. Well, good. Well, I know everybody in the community is excited to have you. You mentioned our administration, starting with Dr. Clemens and Coach Johnson, our athletic director, John Rushing. They all do a fantastic job. And I say this all the time, administrations win championships. Yep. It's not just coaches and players. They kind of set the stage, if you will. And tell us about your dealings with our administration to this point.
Well, it all comes from the top, like you said. And as soon as I got here, even just coming and doing the press conference, I was here for a couple of days. You can just feel the support. You can feel the love in the community. And like I said, it starts at the top, but then you get all the way down to I met fans, I met boosters, I met a lot of people in my first few days here that just kind of, it sets the tone. It lets you know people care about Chipola. They care about your players, and they want to see you be successful.
Well, you're exactly right. This is a special place. You've got a lot of fans in our booster club that'll come by practice. They're at all our home games, and then we've got it to the point now, Coach, where they're traveling to watch us on the road, which is really cool at this level. Not a lot of schools have that. Not a lot of programs are fortunate enough to have that.
Right.
So I think you're going to have a great time in getting to know these people. I know everyone's excited to have you. Now, tell us a little bit, how many returning players do you have? I know predominantly you have a new roster, right? But tell us about maybe some of the young ladies that you think will be impact players for yourself.
Well, the lone returner is going to be Michaela Brown, and she's going to be somebody that's going to play a lot for us, have a big leadership role, doing a lot off the court with, some of the younger kids. She's helped us, our coaching staff. I don't know where this building is. I call Michaela Brown. I don't know who to reach out to for certain things. I call Michaela Brown. So she's been big for our staff, big for the freshmen, even for the transfers coming in, just kind of being that constant person telling them, hey, I'll help you here, I'll help you there. So she's done a great job. We've brought in 6 other sophomores, so we've got a decent seven kids in the sophomore class, 4 of them being Division I transfers we're pretty excited about. Jalen Brills, 6'3", Western Kentucky transfer, recently coming back from a foot injury, but we think once she's full speed, she's going to be helping us quite a bit. 6'3", Tyra Brown is another transfer from North Florida.
Okay.
She's very talented. We got to get her, off the injury list as well.
Yeah.
It's typically the bigs that get hurt early on.
Yeah.
So if we can get that out the way, those 2 will be good. We've got Kenija Daniel from Georgia Southern, a really good, talented guard. And then McKenna Minter, who played for me last year at Iowa Western. She's a Seton Hall transfer. So
nice.
Those are 4 to 5, 6 kids that we think are going to be able to help us have that high talent level. And then everybody else that we have, we believe, can either match that talent level or just play their way into that type of recruiting level.
Sure. Well, that's great. And, I've watched coaches' team practice and work out a little bit, and they look like they're very talented. As you know, Coach, been some great coaches here on the women's side at Chipola. Greg Franklin did an outstanding outstanding job for about a decade, won a national championship while he was here. John Markham came in last year at the last moment, put together a heck of a team and got to the state tournament, had some huge wins. And this guy won't brag on himself, so I'll brag on him a little bit. You know, most of you out there have probably never heard of or certainly never been to a town called Labette, Kansas. This guy was at Labette, Kansas for what, 7 years, Coach? 8 years, and he did outstanding job. Well, I've been to Labette, Kansas, and I know this: if you can win at Labette, Kansas, in Labette, Kansas, you can win anywhere in the country. So this guy's put together a heck of a roster. He won at Labette, he won at Iowa Western last season. He's going to do big things here at Chipola, so we're excited to have him. The last thing I'll say is this: you know, we've got some important dates coming up. We've got what we call our Fan Jam, where the men and women's program will come together, have a 3-point shooting contest. We'll have a dunk contest. Each women and men's team will get a chance to scrimmage for 8 or 10 minutes, and then we'll sign some autographs together afterwards. It's going to be October 24th at 6 o'clock at the Milton Johnson facility. We're excited to do that again. We've done it the last 3 years, Coach. It's been a huge success. You know, our fans like it. It gives them a chance to get to know our newcomers. I don't know if you've done things like this at your other schools, but talk about your excitement, and I'm sure your gals are looking forward to playing in front of our fans for the first time.
I want to see the dunk contest. All right, so that's mainly my concern right now, and then finding some really good shooters on my team to try to compete with your boys a little bit. You know, and then in our 8-minute scrimmage, we just want to play fast. You know, play a fast brand of basketball that everybody wants to see, and try to play similar to you.
Well, and that's what I was going to ask you. Tell us a little bit about your style of play.
Well, we want to pressure the basketball. That's first and foremost. You know, I don't coach a lot of offense in practice at this point in time. Now, once we get rolling into season, we will. But right now, it's mainly about pressuring the basketball, speeding the other team up, making sure our help side rotation is really, really good, especially if we can learn that early. You know, we think that translates to early wins. So defensive-minded team, and then we want to really crash the glass and be an aggressive, physical basketball team.
Well, and from what I've seen, Coach has got the pieces to do that. They're getting after it, working hard, and your ladies are you can tell they're coachable. You can tell that. They're attentive. They play with passion every day on that practice floor. So we're looking forward to watching. And then we open up, the men's program opens up November 1st at home. We have a classic. So I believe the games are at 5 and 7, both Friday, and then Saturday, I believe the games are at 2 and 4. You can check the internet on that, but we're excited to get this thing going. I'm excited about my team. We're kind of like you. We got to get some guys healthy and make sure we get them to the floor on game night, but we're excited. And so I've asked you a bunch of questions. I'm going to say it again, Chipola Nation, you should be very excited to have this guy as our coach. He's going to do a great job, but you have any questions, anything you might want to ask me, Coach?
I've got a great question for you. I mean, in my opinion, I need to know, what does it take to win in the Panhandle? You know, somebody that's won like you at this level, multiple years. I need to know.
Well, I think the biggest thing is players, number one, right? You got to have talented players, and they've got to buy in, which I can already tell your ladies have done that. But you got to have a base, whatever your base is. Mine has always been defending and rebounding. Sounds like you're very similar in that regard. You got to be able to get your base to the floor on game night, and hopefully whatever your base is a little bit stronger than the Northwest Floridas or the Tallahassees or the Pensacola's, the Gulf Coasts of the world, because I'm telling you, you know this, but the casual fan may not know this. This is a Division I league. It's basically a mid-major conference with all the players being freshmen and sophomores rather than juniors and seniors. So you've got to have talented kids that are coachable and get your base to the floor on game night. That's not always easy to do against some of these teams you're going to be playing. But I've seen a lot of great coaches. I've watched your team enough to know you're doing a great job, and you're going to get your fair share of wins this year, my man. We're glad to have you. So again, important dates. November 1st for our men's program. You guys open up on the road?
Yep, we're on the road for 4 straight games. So it'll be a while before we're back home.
Yeah, so we'll get to see them later in November. But our first home game, November 1st. Fan Jam, October 24th. Bring the kids, bring the family, bring a friend. We hope to see you out there at 6 o'clock. And again, Coach, we're glad to have you here at Chipola.
Thank you, Coach. Excited to be here. Thank you.